Our next guest's children's book won her the prestigious Golden Mom's Choice Awards. The book is about a young Parisian girl who uses her five senses to take in the world around her. Joining us now is the author of Vivienne in Paris, Maria Castellucci Moore. Maria, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you, Olivia.
On Live in the Bay.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Had a little mix up there. I had to make sure I got that right. Now, I would love to talk about Vivienne in Paris.
Yes.
But before we get there, let's talk about you as an author.
Yes.
When did you first start this journey of writing?
I started, well, I was a journalist for a magazine back in the day, and being a mom of four and trying to find time to write was a challenge.
I can imagine.
But it's always been a dream to be a children's book author. So I had this on my bucket list forever, and when I was pregnant with my fourth child, I wrote the book, and it was a journey of about 2 years, I would say, to get it to where it is now published and ready to go.
So exciting.
Thank you.
Of course. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On that.
Thank you.
You mentioned you're a mother of four, so
yes.
I would imagine that some of your inspiration is drawn from your own children.
Absolutely. They love to get lost in a good book. They have been my inspiration from the beginning. To read your own book to your child is an incredible experience. So yes, they definitely inspired me to write and also just to create. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Children are so inspirational to
they
us.
Are.
Even, and they don't even realize it.
They don't. They don't.
So when it came to writing Vivienne in Paris, how did this idea first spark in your mind? What made you take the jump to do it?
You know, I had my own self-discovery journey as an adult and realized that happiness is, in fact, unique to each and every individual.
That's true.
We live in a world where there's this kind of cookie-cutter, you know, mold as far as what happiness should look like and should feel like. And this story really brings about just a holistic approach to happiness and learning and feeling, and how that inspires a deeper connection with yourself and the world around you. So
that's beautiful.
That was the inspiration of the storyline.
And something interesting that you said I had to kind of have my own self-discovery.
Yes.
I went on this own journey. How much of that is reflected in Vivienne in Paris?
A lot, honestly. I mean, she goes throughout her usual Sunday route, but on this particular Sunday, she gets a question from her grandfather that says, "When was the last time you ever felt joy unique to you?" So she ponders this question, and she goes on her journey using her mind and her body to learn and to feel and really to find what makes her tick. So the story is, yes, it is a very direct reflection on my life.
Wonderful.
And what I love. So.
Now, you gave us a quick snippet of what we can expect from Vivienne in Paris, but without giving away too much, because we want everybody to read this wonderful book.
Yes, we do.
What is the main message that you want people to take away from it?
You know, that's a great question. The main message, I would say, is really to find your own unique joy. And I really created the book to inspire a greater connection and communication between the child and their parent or loved one, and really to spark that conversation as to how you feel. Check in with your mental well-being. How is your happiness level? What makes you happy, as opposed to what society thinks should make you happy. So really, the takeaway was using a holistic approach, but opening that conversation between the child and their parents.
So really, you're hoping that both, not just the child takes something away from this, but also the parent as well, that they can share.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful conversation piece, and to start early with your child. So
well, that is so amazing.
Thank
and
you.
Something else that is very amazing, the illustrations in this book. That's a big part of Vivienne in Paris.
Yes, it is.
Tell me how those came about.
So my fabulous illustrator, Emanuela, she's from Rome, and being first-generation American from Italian parents, I connected with her immediately. Her portfolio just brought my story to life, and really the story about feeling, she brings the emotion into all the illustrations, and it's very special. So I thank her for that. Yeah.
And how much do the illustrations play hand in hand with the words that you put on the book?
100%. I mean, I feel like you could take the words away and almost just feel what Vivienne is feeling just by looking at the photos.
And that's how you know it's a good one.
She did an extraordinary job. Yeah.
Well, the book
really did.
That's awesome.
Thank
that
you.
She has done such a great job too, just bringing your own vision to life.
Yes.
But you're also giving back with this book
am.
and the proceeds that you receive from it. Can
Yes.
you tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So I partnered with the Alliance des Français in San Francisco. It's a French school that is, it's an organization that promotes culture and French language appreciation and knowledge of. And I will be reading to the children this summer at their summer school. So I'm really looking forward to that. So yes, a portion of the proceeds will go to benefit this organization.
And why was that important for you to have that part of the
You
entire
know, I
project?
think giving back is just such a special way to help each other. I think this book was really put out to give a sincere message and hopefully help youth and parents alike open up a different dialogue. And if I can give back on top of that, I feel like it's a total win.
That's true. It's a win-win on both sides, right?
Yes, 100%.
Well, Vivienne is based in Paris, but I know that, excuse me, you want to do more stories with children from all around the world,
Yes,
right?
I do. So I'd love to write a book for each one of my 4 children, set in a different city around the world, and really curtail it to them. And the ta-da at the end is what makes them the most happy, joyful, and alive. So it's really a chance to get to know your own child even more intimately than you do doing this project. So yes.
That's so sweet. And
Yeah.
we're going to look forward to more of those.
Thank you.
Of course. Now, I
Yes.
mentioned it in the beginning, but you did win the Gold Mom's Choice Awards.
I did.
What was that like for you to receive an honor because of the hard work that you put in?
Such a joy. I can't even tell you. The book is not even released yet, and I've won, multiple awards. So I'm really proud of the project, and I just feel really grateful that people are resonating with the message. So.
And what would you want to maybe send a message or tell other moms out there who have kids and have these dreams but don't really know what to do with them?
Yeah, my advice would be start these conversations early. I feel like we live in a world where there is, less conversation about the things that are, maybe intimate in our lives or that don't use your whole body as an expression. And I just think that the earlier the better. It's never too late, but it's also never too early to start these wonderful conversations with your children.
I agree with you. Now, before I let you go, Maria,
Yes.
when and where is the book releasing? And I know you have a book reading coming up as well.
I do. So on May 2nd is my release date for Vivienne in Paris. I'll be doing a free admission reading at the St. Helena local library. So all are welcome to come. It's on my website, mariacastellucciMooreauthor.com. And yeah, I look forward to more appearances.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Maria, for joining us here on
Thank
Live
you,
in a Day.
Olivia.
Of
Thank you.
course.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you.